My husband canceled my scholarship while I was asleep, until the university read his laptop name out loud. Mrs. Walker, the admissions coordinator said on speaker. According to our records, you personally withdrew from the master's program and declined the full scholarship last Thursday at 11:48 p.m. Did you send that email yourself? My husband's hand moved so fast toward the mute button that his coffee tipped over onto the dining room table. His mother sat in the recliner behind him with a printed care schedule in her lap. His sister had her phone raised because she had been recording what she called my accountability call. My father-in-law stood near the doorway, arms folded, waiting for the university to prove I had been lying. On the table, beside the spilled coffee, was the schedule they had made for me. 6 weeks of medication reminders, meals, laundry, physical therapy rides, and overnight help from my mother-in-law after surgery. My name was written in every blank space. I looked at my husband, Mark. He did not look back. I said no. The room changed before the coordinator said another word. Nobody knew yet that one deleted email, one login record, and one device name were about to tear apart the version of me they had spent the whole week building. A week before that call, I thought I had lost the biggest opportunity of my life because I had made a mistake. I had been accepted into a master's program in nonprofit management, and the school had offered me a full scholarship. Tuition, fees, even a small living stipend. I was 32, working full-time in an underpaid coordinator job, and I had spent years telling myself it was too late to build a different future. Mark knew what that scholarship meant to me. He had proofread my personal statement. He had sat beside me while I uploaded transcripts. When I got the acceptance email, he hugged me and said, "You earned this." That was why I did not understand his face 3 nights later when his mother, Elaine, called an emergency family dinner. Elaine had knee replacement surgery scheduled for the following month. She had known about it for almost a year. She had insurance, a husband, an adult daughter named Brooke who lived 15 minutes away, and enough money to hire temporary help. But when Mark and I arrived, there was already a folder on the kitchen table. Elaine tapped it with one finger and said, "We need to talk about care." Inside was a printed schedule with my name typed across the top. Not Mark's. Not Brooke's. Mine. Morning medication. My name. Breakfast and dishes. My name. Drive to physical therapy. My name. Evening meal. My name. Even overnight assistance if needed. My name. I laughed a little because I thought it was a draft. Then I saw Mark's eyes. I said, "I start school in August. I can't become a full-time caregiver for 6 weeks." Elaine sighed like I had disappointed her exactly the way she expected. "It is online for the first semester, isn't it? You can do homework between things." "It is not homework between things," I said. "It is a graduate program." Brooke rolled her eyes. "A lot of people take classes and still help family." Mark touched my knee under the table, not affectionately, warning me. That was the first red flag. Not the schedule. Not Elaine's entitlement. Mark's hand on my knee, telling me to be quiet in front of his family. On the drive home, I asked if he had known about the schedule. He stared straight ahead. "Mom just needs consistency." "That is not what I asked." He exhaled. "I knew she was hoping you could help more. More is not every line of a 6-week care plan. You are making it sound worse than it is." 3 days later, I received an email from the university saying they were sorry I had decided to withdraw and that my scholarship would be offered to the next student on the waitlist. I read it 5 times. At first, I blamed myself. Maybe I had missed a deadline. Maybe I had clicked the wrong form. Maybe there was some hidden requirement I failed to complete. My hands were shaking so hard I could barely type. When Mark came home, I was sitting at the kitchen table with my laptop open. I said, "The school says I withdrew." I didn't. He did not look shocked. He looked tired. "Maybe you did it accidentally," he said. "How would I accidentally withdraw from a master's program?" "I don't know. You have been stressed." I stared at him. "Mark." He lifted both hands. "I'm just saying. Maybe this is a sign. Maybe it is not the right time." There it was again. The soft voice he used whenever he wanted me to accept something that benefited him. That night, Elaine called me. She did not ask if I was okay. She said, Mark told me about the school thing. I'm sorry, sweetheart. But maybe God closed that door because your family needs you here. I said nothing. Then she added, a scholarship is wonderful, but it is not a personality. That was when I stopped crying. Before that, I had felt embarrassed. After that, I felt something colder. Because Elaine was not surprised either. The next morning, Brooke posted in Mark's family group chat. Some people love talking about ambition until real family responsibility shows up. Mom has surgery soon, and we all need to stop pretending everyone is available only when it looks good on social media. Mark's aunt replied with praying hands. His cousin wrote, family first. Always. Elaine sent, I would rather suffer alone than hold anyone back. Then Mark wrote, please don't make this harder, Mom. We will figure it out. They? That one word made me look again at the care schedule still sitting on our kitchen counter because Mark had brought it home. There was no we on that paper. There was only my name. I did not answer the group chat. That made them braver. By that afternoon, 2 of Mark's relatives had texted me privately. One said I should not blame Mark for my own school mistake. Another said Elaine had always treated me like a daughter and I was being cold. Mark came home and found me taking pictures of the care schedule. He said, what are you doing? Saving a copy. Why? Because everyone keeps talking about family responsibility, and I want to remember whose name is actually on the responsibility. His jaw tightened. You are acting paranoid. I looked at him and said, then you won't mind if I ask the school for the withdrawal record. He laughed once, too quickly. You think I did something? I did not answer. That bothered him more than if I had yelled. The admissions office replied the next morning. The coordinator, Miss Patel, said they could not send account details through regular email but could schedule a video call to review my file. She said the withdrawal had been submitted from my student portal and confirmed by email. My student portal. Mark knew the password. I had given it to him the week I submitted my application because he was helping me upload a transcript. At the time, it felt harmless. You do not expect your husband to use access to your future, like a spare key. I changed the password immediately. Then I searched my email account for the withdrawal confirmation. Nothing. Trash. Nothing. Archive. Nothing. Then I searched withdraw and found one message in the deleted items recovery folder. It was from my account to admissions. Subject line: scholarship withdrawal. The message was short. After careful thought, I need to withdraw from the master's program and decline the scholarship. My family responsibilities have changed, and I believe it would be selfish to move forward right now. Thank you for the opportunity. Selfish. That word did not sound like me. It sounded like Elaine. The timestamp was Thursday, 11:48 p.m. I knew exactly where I was at 11:48 p.m. I had fallen asleep on the couch after a 12-hour workday. Mark had covered me with a blanket. I remembered waking up around 1 in the morning and seeing the blue glow from the office. I thought he was gaming. He was using my account. I took screenshots. I forwarded them to a new email Mark did not know about. Then I called my friend Jenna, the only person I trusted not to tell me to be patient for the sake of peace. Jenna listened and said, do not confront him alone. Make the school put it in writing. They are already public with their version. That sentence stayed with me. They were already public with their version. That night, Mark told me his family wanted to come over Sunday after dinner. Elaine was upset. Brooke was angry. His father thought I was being disrespectful. They want you to apologize, he said. For what? For accusing people in your head. For making Mom feel like a burden. For acting like the school thing is everyone's fault but yours. I said, did you withdraw me from the program? He looked me straight in the face and said, no. It was so smooth that I almost doubted myself. Then he added, but honestly, if you can't handle one setback without falling apart, maybe you weren't ready. That was when I knew he was not scared of losing me. He was scared of losing the version of me that made his life easier. On Sunday, they arrived with dessert and judgment. Elaine came in with a walker, even though her surgery had not happened yet. Brooke carried her purse and looked at me like I had already failed a test. Mark had set up our dining room like a family intervention. Chairs facing me. Care schedule in the center. My printed scholarship email beside it. The one I had once been proud of. Someone had written across the top in pen. Current status? Withdrawn. Elaine started crying before anyone sat down. She said, I never asked you to give up your dreams. I only hoped you loved this family enough to help when needed. Brooke said, nobody forced you to withdraw. You did that. And now you are blaming us because you regret it. Mark leaned back and said nothing. His silence hurt more than Brooke's voice. His father said, call the school. Put it on speaker. Let them tell you what happened so we can stop this nonsense. Mark's head turned slightly toward him. Too fast. I saw it. I opened my laptop. Mark said, maybe we should not waste their time on a Sunday. I said, Miss Patel already agreed to this time. His face went still. Miss Patel joined the video call at 6:03 p.m. She was professional and careful. She asked if I was in a private place. I looked around the dining room at my husband, his mother, his sister, and his father. I said, no. But the people here are the reason I need the record clarified. Mark muttered, this is ridiculous. Miss Patel looked at him through the screen and said, sir, I need to speak with the applicant. That was the first small shift in the room. She confirmed my identity. Then she asked the question from the beginning. Did you send that email yourself? I said no. Brooke stopped recording. Elaine stopped crying. Mark said, she was tired. She probably doesn't remember. Miss Patel did not respond to him. She clicked something on her end. For the record, the withdrawal was not caused by missing documents. Your file was complete. Your scholarship was active until the withdrawal request was submitted. Hit 1. The official truth. I had not lost the scholarship because I was careless. I had not failed to submit anything. I had not ruined my own chance. Brooke whispered. Wait. What? Mark leaned forward. Can we not turn this into a trial? She had access to her own account, Miss Patel said. The withdrawal request was submitted through the student portal and confirmed by email. We can provide the applicant with the device and login information we have available. She asked me for permission to read it out loud. I said yes. Mark stood up. No, he said. That is private. I looked at him. It is my record. He sat back down. But his face had changed color. Miss Patel read the timestamp again. 11:48 p.m. Then she read the device name. Windows laptop. Device name. Mark Walker. HP. Hit 2. The betrayer named. The room went so quiet that I heard the refrigerator click on. His father said, Mark? Mark rubbed both hands over his face. It's not what it sounds like. Nobody had asked what it sounded like. Elaine said, there must be some mistake with the device. Miss Patel said, the account was accessed using the applicant's credentials from that device. The withdrawal email was sent 3 minutes later. I did not speak. I did not have to. Mark looked at me like I had betrayed him by allowing the truth to enter the room. Then he said the sentence that destroyed the last piece of his defense. I was trying to stop you from making a mistake. Hit 3. The motive exposed. Mark kept talking because people who are losing control often mistake more words for safety. You were going to run yourself into the ground. Mom needed help. We needed stability. You were chasing some fantasy. And I made the responsible choice because you were too emotional to see it. There it was. Not an accident. Not confusion. Not a glitch. A choice. My husband had looked at my scholarship, looked at his mother's care schedule, and decided my future was the easier thing to cancel. Elaine's face folded into offense, but not surprise. I saw that too. I said, did you know? She said, I knew he was worried about you. Did you know he withdrew me? She looked away. That was enough. Miss Patel asked if I wanted the university to pause the reallocation of the scholarship while they reviewed unauthorized access. I said yes. Please. Mark snapped. You are really going to embarrass me in front of an admissions office? I looked at the care schedule on the table. My name in every blank space. My scholarship email with withdrawn written across it like a tombstone. I said, "You did that yourself." That was when Brooke's phone buzzed. Then mine. Then Mark's father's. The family group chat was moving. Brooke had already posted earlier that day. "Pray for my brother. He is dealing with a wife who blames him for her own choices while our mom is facing surgery." Now, without being asked, Brooke typed into the chat, "I need everyone to stop commenting. We just heard from the school. The withdrawal did not happen because of missing documents." Elaine hissed, "Brooke." Brooke looked at her mother and said, "Mom, he did it." Hit 4. The smear reversed in the same place it had spread. Mark grabbed his phone, but his father said his name in a tone I had never heard before. "Put it down." Mark froze. His father picked up the care schedule and read the first page silently. Then the second. "Why is her name on every shift?" he asked Elaine. Elaine's eyes filled again, but nobody rushed to comfort her. "Because she works from home sometimes," Elaine said. "Because she is organized. Because she knows my medications. Because I thought she cared." For the first time, I heard the trick clearly. They had made my competence into a cage. Miss Patel said she would send written confirmation that my scholarship file was under review due to possible unauthorized withdrawal. She also said I should change all university passwords and avoid sharing login access. "Already done," I said. Mark looked at me sharply. He was just realizing I had not walked into that call empty-handed. I had already changed the password, saved the deleted email, forwarded the screenshots, asked for written confirmation, and packed a bag in the trunk of my car before they arrived. He said, "Softer now. Can we talk in private?" I said no. That was my second no. But it felt like the first one that belonged completely to me. Miss Patel ended the call after confirming she would follow up the next business day. The laptop screen went dark, and for a moment everyone stared at their own reflections in it. Then the practical fallout began. Mark's father took the care schedule and tore it in half. Not dramatically. Just once. Down the middle. "We are hiring someone," he said. Elaine said. "We cannot afford full-time help for 6 weeks." He looked at Mark. "Then your son can take leave." Since he had such strong opinions about family responsibility. Hit 5. The plan collapsed physically. The unpaid caregiving schedule with my name in every blank was gone. The scholarship reallocation was paused. The laptop record was in my email. The family chat had already started correcting itself. And the man who tried to decide my future for me was now being handed the burden he tried to dump onto me. Mark said, "I have work." His father said, "So did she." And school. Brooke deleted her earlier post while sitting at my table. Then she wrote another message. Shorter than the first. I accused her without knowing the truth. That was wrong. Mark accessed her school account and withdrew her without permission. "Please stop blaming her." Elaine said Brooke was humiliating the family. Brooke said, "No. Mark did that." I stood up. Mark followed me into the hallway. "Where are you going?" "Janice. So you're leaving me over one email?" There it was, the small thing. One email. Just a mistake. Just bad timing. Just family pressure. Just something he thought he could explain away because it was digital and quiet and did not leave a bruise anyone could point to. I turned around. "You didn't send one email," I said. "You canceled my scholarship, deleted the confirmation, let your family call me selfish, and tried to turn my future into your mother's recovery plan." He looked past me toward the dining room, like he wanted someone to rescue him from the sentence. "No one did," he said. I panicked. I said, "You planned." Then I left. I stayed with Jenna for 2 weeks. During that time, I did not answer Mark's private calls. I told him anything about the school, the apartment, or his mother's care needed to be in writing. He hated that. People who live by twisting private conversations hate written records. The university restored my scholarship after I submitted the screenshots and confirmed my account had been accessed without my consent. They did not make a big dramatic speech. They simply corrected the file. That was enough. The first email they sent afterwards said, "Your scholarship remains active." I printed it. Mark's family had to rearrange Elaine's surgery care. Mark took 3 weeks of unpaid leave. Brooke took weekends. His father hired a part-time aide for the mornings. Elaine sent me one long message saying she hoped I was proud of myself for making an old woman feel unwanted. I sent one reply. Your care was never my punishment for having a future. Then I blocked her. Mark tried one final manipulation about a month later. He sent a message saying that if I really went through with school, everyone would know I chose a degree over my marriage. I took a screenshot and sent it to him with the withdrawal email underneath. Everyone already knows what you chose, I wrote. He did not answer for 3 days. By then, the family group chat had changed. Mark's aunt, the same one who had sent praying hands under Brooke's first post, wrote, I am sorry I commented before knowing the facts. It was not everything, but it mattered. Not because I needed their approval back, because I needed the lie to stop wearing my face. Mark and I separated. I moved into a small one-bedroom apartment near campus. It was not beautiful. The kitchen drawers stuck. The heater made a ticking sound at night. My desk barely fit between the wall and the window. But on the first day of orientation, I sat at that desk with my laptop open and my restored scholarship email printed beside it. No care schedule. No family group chat. No husband standing behind me telling me I was too emotional to decide my own life. Just my name, my program, and one sentence that still makes me breathe easier. Your scholarship remains active. People kept saying it was just an email. It was never just an email. It was the line where I finally stopped disappearing for people who only loved me when I was useful.